Every day you wake up, you voting for the person you becoming. Not with words, with habits. The quiet ones. The ones nobody clapped for. The ones that don't get posted, don't get praised, don't get validated. And if you don't change those, don't expect your life to change. I had to learn that the hard way. Through losses, setbacks, and moments where reality checked every excuse I tried to lean on. Ain't no shortcut around discipline. Ain't no motivation strong enough to save you from habits that keep pulling you back when life get uncomfortable. Motivation fade. Discipline stay. You can dream big and still live small if your daily routine don't match your vision. And that's the contradiction that keep a lot of people stuck. That's the truth most people don't want to sit with. Because it forces accountability. Your habits create your identity. Not what you say you are. Not what you post. Not what you claim on your best days. What you repeatedly do when nobody watching, when nobody expecting nothing from you, when nobody holding you accountable, that's who you really is. Identity ain't built in speeches. It's built in repetition. See, a bad habit ain't just a mistake, it's a vote against your future. Every time you choose comfort over growth, distraction over focus, excuses over execution, you reinforcing a version of yourself that can't go where you say you want to go. And that don't make you weak. It just means you human. But staying there, that's a choice you make every day you refuse to change the pattern. Replacing bad habits ain't about quitting something, it's about upgrading. You don't just remove the old. You replace it with something that feeds your purpose. Because if you don't replace it, it'll come back stronger. You swap the late nights with early mornings, not because it sounds productive, but because it aligns with the life you're trying to build. You swap empty conversations with self-reflection, because growth requires honesty. You swap quick dopamine with long-term reward, because you finally realize temporary pleasure always comes with permanent consequences. It's a process, a slow grind, a lonely grind sometimes. But that grind builds character, and character hold weight when motivation disappears. People think change gotta be loud. Nah, real change move in silence. It don't announce itself. It don't seek approval. It show up in your calendar, in your bank account, in your discipline, in how you respond instead of react, in how you keep promises to yourself even when nobody holding you accountable. That's real power. You gotta respect your future self enough to stop sabotaging them today. Ask yourself, would the person I'm trying to become make this choice? And if the answer no, you already know what to do. That's integrity. That's self-respect. That's maturity. And don't get it twisted, this ain't about perfection. It's about consistency. Falling don't disqualify you. Staying down do. Fall down 7 times. Get up 8. But get up smarter. Learn something. Adjust something. Replace the habit that broke you with one that builds you. Brick by brick. Day by day. Because once your habits change, your standards change. Once your standards change, your circle change. Once your circle change, your life change. That's the domino effect of self-mastery. And it always starts internally before it shows externally. So lock in. Audit your routines. Be honest about what's holding you back. Instead of blaming people, timing, or circumstances, then make the hard swap. Not tomorrow, today. This is how you turn potential into proof. This is how you become who you said you was. Every habit you practice is a ballot you cast for the person you becoming, whether you conscious of it or not. Ain't no neutral days. Ain't no standing still. You either reinforcing the future you want or feeding the past you say you tired of. That's the part most people overlook. They think change come from one big decision, one big moment, one big break. Nah, change come from the small choices you repeat when nobody applauding. The moments when it's just you and your discipline. When the phone buzzing, the couch calling, the excuses lining up, and you still choose to do what aligns with where you trying to go. You wake up every morning already voting. The way you start your day is a vote. Whether you hit snooze or get up is a vote. What you eat is a vote. What you listen to is a vote. Who you give your energy to is a vote. What you tolerate is a vote. And over time, them votes add up. You don't become successful by accident. You don't become undisciplined by accident either. Both are results of patterns. Patterns turn into habits. Habits turn into identity. Identity turn into destiny. That's the chain. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. A lot of people want to skip the identity part. They want to jump straight to results. They want to look rich without being responsible, want to look focused without being disciplined, want to look confident without doing the inner work. But life don't work like that. The results always chase the habits. Always. You can lie to people, but your routine never lies. Your calendar tell the truth. Your bank account tell the truth. Your health tell the truth. Your peace of mind tell the truth. Those don't lie. When you say you trying to be better, the real question is what you doing daily to support that claim. Because intention without action is just fantasy. You can visualize all day, but if your habits don't match the vision gonna stay imaginary. And that ain't hate, that's clarity. Once you understand that, you stop being emotional about your progress and start being strategic. You stop asking why things ain't working and start adjusting what you're doing consistently. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you casting a vote for a stronger version of yourself. Every time you choose patience over impulse, you reinforcing growth. And yeah, it's uncomfortable. Growth always is. Comfort is designed to keep you the same. But staying the same come with a cost too. Regret heavier than effort. Always has been. You gotta start respecting your time like it's your most valuable currency, because it is. You can't make more time. You can only decide how to spend it. And where you spend it determine who you become. If you spending it reacting instead of building, consuming instead of creating, you voting for stagnation. And that don't mean you a bad person. It just means you haven't aligned your habits with your hunger yet. Hunger without structure turn into frustration. Structure without hunger turn into routine. But when hunger and structure meet, that's momentum. That's when days start stacking. Weeks start compounding. And you look up one day and realize you're not the same person you was last year. That don't happen overnight. It happened because you showed up when it wasn't glamorous, when nobody was watching, when quitting would have been easier. Your habits don't care about your mood. They don't care about your past. They don't care about your excuses. They only respond to repetition. So if you've been repeating doubt, procrastination, self-sabotage, that's the identity you've been feeding. But the flip side just as real. You can feed discipline. You can feed focus. You can feed patience. And eventually, that become who you are without effort. That's when people say you changed. Nah, you just voted differently long enough for it to show. Replacing destructive routines with purposeful ones ain't about punishment. It's about alignment. You're not giving something up, you trading it in. You realizing certain habits can't come with you to the next level. Same way you outgrow clothes, you outgrow routines. And if you don't consciously replace them, something else will fill the space. Nature hate a vacuum, so do habits. You can't just stop doing something. You gotta redirect that energy. If you quit wasting time, you gotta invest it somewhere. If you quit negative thinking, you gotta replace it with intentional focus. If you quit unhealthy patterns, you gotta introduce healthier structure. Otherwise, the old habit gonna creep back in. Not because you weak, but because you left the door open. Purposeful habits are built, not found. You design them. You test them. You adjust them. You commit to them even when they don't feel natural yet. At first, discipline feels forced. Later, it feels normal. Eventually, it feels like who you are. That's the evolution. And most people quit in the force phase because they mistake discomfort for incompatibility. They think, this ain't me. Nah, it just ain't you yet. You gotta be patient with your transformation. You undoing years of conditioning, years of shortcuts, years of coping mechanisms. Of course it ain't gonna switch overnight, but every day you choose a better routine, you weaken in the old one. Habits don't die, they starve. And you starve them by not feeding them attention, time, or energy. Consistency louder than motivation. Motivation come and go. Discipline stay. Discipline what you lean on when you're tired, distracted, or doubting yourself. And the crazy part is discipline actually give you confidence. Not hype confidence, earned confidence. The kind that come from knowing you can trust yourself. When you say you're gonna do something, you do it. Replacing bad habits also mean changing environments. You can't heal in the same places that made you sick. If your surroundings encourage distraction, chaos, or excuses, you fighting uphill. You gotta curate your space, your circle, your inputs, because your habits are shaped by what you constantly exposed to. You don't gotta cut everybody off. but you do gotta protect your focus. Some people comfortable staying the same, and they gonna unconsciously try to pull you back to that level. Not out of hate, out of familiarity. Growth make people uncomfortable, especially when it reflect what they're avoiding in themselves. Purposeful routines don't just change what you do, they change how you think. When you start keeping promises to yourself, your self-talk change. You stop doubting your ability to follow through. You stop negotiating with weakness. You start operating from principle instead of emotion. That's when life get clearer. Clarity is everything. When you clear about who you becoming, your choices get simpler. Not easy, but simple. You know what align and what don't. You know what deserve your time and what don't. That clarity comes from repetition, from living in alignment long enough that confusion fade. Confidence built through action, through showing up, through replacing habits that drain you with ones that develop you. And every time you do that, you strengthen your identity. You're not just trying to be better, you practicing being better. And that practice compound, still voting, still choosing, still becoming, still moving forward in alignment with the version of yourself your habits been shaping you into every single day.